Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Point of View. Joining us at the table again is one of our favorite, not so favorites, Dr. Willie Montague. Hey, Willie.
Now, hold your
Hey, yeah, you know I'm playing. You know we love to have you.
Welcome back, Willie.
Thank you.
Coming up on today's show, allegedly Kanye West now holds the record for the highest child support payment in American history. And Colin Kaepernick is still holding out hope for an NFL return 9 years after his controversial national anthem protest. And later, stay tuned for Girlfriend's Guide and Unpopular Opinion. Trust me, you don't want to miss those. So pull up the seat, join the discussion. You're watching POV. Kanye West cannot stay out of these headlines, but this time it's not for music or for fashion. According to reports, Kanye is reportedly dropping $200,000 a month in child support to Kim Kardashian. That's not even including half of the cost for their kids' medical schooling and security. With four little ones in joint custody, this might just be the most expensive co-parenting arrangement in American history. If he only knew this was going to be the cost of co-parenting with Kim K. What y'all think about this one?
Well, I think she ain't messing with no broke. That's what I know. Okay.
Listen, but I'm wondering if this is why he is on a rampage now and is in and out of losing his mind daily. $200,000 a month?
Yeah,
That would be something to make you lose your mind.
I think it's ridiculous. I think that Kim and her father, that side of the family has plenty of money, and I think $200,000 is ridiculous. You know, what would happen if for these cases like this, why not let it be reallocated towards saving up or some kind of a plan for them to have money versus you like paying? He's in the children's lives. It's not that he doesn't want to be, and I say this about people with child support. Y'all can say what you want to, write comments to your mama. So, but what I would say is that when people do this, especially, you know, women like in her status, it's unnecessary. Like, he wants to be in his children's lives. So, you know, putting out $200,000, I think is ridiculous. I think child support as in a whole is a ridiculous technique to.
What?
So, yes, I do.
I think I understand, you know, maybe where you're coming from, Willie, and I think I'm halfway there with you. I also feel like child support in some cases is necessary because there are a lot of people that do not have any they don't have an interest in supporting their children financially or emotionally. So I feel like for some it is a necessary tool. But at the same time, you know, with these kids, with the Kardashian kids or the West kids, it's a little bit interesting because a lot of these children are already making money. Mm-hmm. So if we're talking about, you know, their expenses.
Did she brand all of their names?
Exactly. And we see what name is the oldest one? North all over the place doing some of everything. So $200,000, what is it paying for?
I think she's a rapper
Maybe
now.
it's doing just like Willie said. It's going to whatever he said.
I doubt it. More plastic surgery for the mother.
Oh!
But what I would say is that, and to me, it's just ridiculous. So I just said that.
Wow.
I come ready today. Happy Wednesday.
You think child support is ridiculous? Why?
I think child support.
Or you think just this amount is ridiculous?
This amount is ridiculous, and I think it really should be on a case-by-case basis. Because I've seen some people who want to be in their father's lives, and all of their checks are gone toward, want to be in their kids' life. So all the checks are going towards the kids, and then the man ends up, you know, can't pay his bills. They lock you up for 30 days because if you miss behind, then you're behind. I feel like the system in itself is further separating the fathers from the home. Every father, and I know y'all keep saying this, but y'all neglect the statistical background that every single father is not wanting to be absent. So we can't just think. I've seen people put men on child support who live in the home.
Yeah, I don't think that we all think that men want to be absent from their children's life. But I will tell a very short story about my old best friend. She has 2 kids, and I used to see the child support checks. Like, one of the checks was 23 cents.
Oh, I know people like that.
What is she doing? Like, I was so disgusted. I was like, what are you doing with 23 cents? Like, what can you do with that? Meanwhile, this man has, you know, moved on. He has a new child that he's taking care of in the home with a new woman. You know what I'm saying? And not doing anything as far as providing for that child. So I feel like while it is situational for child support, I do feel like women do need that support from the man because she didn't create that baby by herself.
That's right.
And men also that are out there, there's single parent men too. So just so that we know that is not just.
And a man is to protect and provide. Amen.
Right. And
Let's
so
move
women
on.
should play child support too.
Thank you.
I don't know. There are women that pay child support.
I just want to be clear.
There are.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear that there should be equal as much child support to those who are single.
What I do want to say though, and
man
I don't know if
expects so
this
much.
could be a proven fact, but it has been proven many times in things that I've seen in my life. It often seems like a lot of times the parents that actually get child support, most of the time those are the ones that don't do anything for the kids. But then you see a lot of the parents that don't get any child support, and they are the ones that are busting their behind for their children to make sure their children lack anything. But then you got the mom around here getting a BBL or a new cell phone with the child support check, and the baby got holes in the sneakers.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, ladies at home, a BBL before you get your teeth fixed is nasty work.
A BBL before you get your child braces is nasty work. Let's
a
clock
BBL
that.
and your child walking around with the silver things in their mouth. No, ma'am.
Why don't we just be responsible and do the right thing? And if you're collecting the check, please take care of the children. That is what it's there for, to make sure they have their medical, their clothing, they can go to college, and they can have a good, safe future.
Right.
And let me conclude this. That comes through the process of educating, because a lot of this ratchetness in some of these women
What is it called?
the ratchetness in some of this women is trifling. And so
what is it?
They're trifling.
Trifling.
And so because they're unable to, why are you looking at me like that? It's the truth.
Listening.
That's all I had to say.
I think a
Don't
lot
be
of
trifling.
it may come from male treatment. You know, it always goes back to the head. I mean, if you're going to be the head,
You want to be the head of the
They don't
household.
have the head.
That's the problem.
No.
Why isn't he
You
there?
want us to be the head, but you want to take the child support.
No.
That's what
The
I'm trying
man
to say.
wants to automatically step into that masculine role.
Yeah, and most of these men ain't capable of leading whether they're in the house or not, baby. So at that point, cut the shit, okay? Listen, moving on to our next topic. Colin Kaepernick is still not giving up on his NFL dreams nearly 9 years after taking that knee that changed everything. He's still waking up at 3 a.m. to train and stay ready. His loving partner, Nessa, says he's hopeful but realistic. I don't know about 3 a.m. That doesn't sound very realistic to me. But he wants back in. And it's up to the league now. So then it's just a waiting game. Will the NFL finally give Colin Kaepernick another shot, or has this chapter closed? Where y'all at with it, baby?
He need to move on.
He need to start his own little league and call it a day.
We don't want anybody that's woke, weak, needing a coward. Him taking that knee 9 years ago. This is what happens when you do those type of things to try to set some precedent. You lost all ability to continue to be the one that carries a legacy 9 years ago. If he would have stayed and carried a posture of speaking his truth without
and been obedient.
Well, I mean, he's hired by league.
He was being obedient.
He's hired by league. He doesn't have his own thing. They had rules.
Oh, you sound like the other ones say.
I don't think anywhere in his contract it says that he couldn't stand for
running the ball.
something that he believes in. I don't think that was printed in his
if
contract.
you stand for that, go over to the country that does that. But over here in the United States of America, we respect our flag.
He think that by himself?
And I'm not gonna lie.
Django.
Listen.
I'm telling
you, man. You sound like you. Listen, Willie, you just in my face. I was on stuck because you sounded very Uncle Thomas.
You have to respect.
Steven from Django.
This will be Willie's last day with us.
Willie, now I think the suit is giving Uncle Ruckus.
Okay.
Yes.
All praise white Jesus. Okay. Whoa, come on now.
Ain't no way you believe what's coming out of your mouth.
Listen, I'm serious. Here she goes. She loves saying that. No.
I know he doesn't believe that. He just tries to.
He trolling, y'all. He trolling. He don't
work
believe
for the other side. Yes, he's just trolling.
Do we think that the NFL?
They're not gonna hire you, Willie.
Listen, honey. Willie wanted for one of these elected officers around here. He trying to get in with the other side. But the question is, do we think that the NFL now views Colin Kaepernick as a distraction and wants to protect their reputation?
Probably. Really? Unfortunately. Maybe.
Yeah, I did hear that a team, I want to say maybe last year, I don't remember what team it was, but they offered him, to coach. And I mean, the fact that he wants to be on the field, get in how you can, baby. If you're up at 3 a.m., you still desperately want to be on the field, but it won't be running after that ball. or throwing it.
I think
how do you tell somebody to let go of their dream?
But that's what he loves.
Well, he should have thought about that before he took the knee. That's what I'm trying to say.
But why couldn't he take
Everything
the knee?
has consequences in life. You have to count the cost. This is a grown behind man that understood the climate of our country at that particular time, and he should have took his tail, stood up, pledged allegiance, and then went and created a Facebook post or reel to protest as a podcaster, not to bend his knee when he's getting a salary from a company that's hired him. He does not own the NFL. It is a league that hired him. Sit down and do the job they sent you to do.
The backlash.
That's
what
what
Willie
saying.
You see what Willie do?
He still would have got the
That's what
same
he's saying.
backlash, whether he did it online or he did it in person. He still would have got the same backlash.
And what I do think is that even though he's not on the field, I still would like to think of him as a success, because there are plenty of people that are on the field whose name we will never remember.
Exactly.
But anytime the name
But we're gonna remember that.
said, we remember his name.
Exactly.
And he did allegedly get an undisclosed settlement with the NFL for discrimination, baby. So something came from something.
That's right.
Okay, but we have to take a quick commercial break. Y'all stay with us. Don't go nowhere. You're watching POV.
All right, y'all, it is hump day, and I got a question for you. So, y'all, what is the most ridiculous thing you have argued with your partner about?
I think I can't even think of it because I argue about ridiculous things all the time. Sometimes my baby got to say, Mom, what are y'all talking about? I don't know. I mean, we get over it, but everything is just like, and okay, and so I said, so ridiculousness is the name of my house.
I don't even know. Like, this question kind of caught me off guard.
Me too.
I feel like I don't really try to be petty, but like, sometimes, like, when the cap is off the toothpaste, it really bothers me. Or, like, if there's toothpaste in the sink after you brush your teeth, that bothers me, too. And if you squeeze the toothpaste from the middle, that gets under my skin, too.
Oh, wow.
You leave clothes around, bothers me. I be bothered about a lot of stuff, honestly. I do. I really do. Willie?
It was food.
Excuse me?
It was a food. That's what the argument was. It was about someone eating a French fry off my plate.
What?
Oh, you one of them.
Are you ridiculous?
They can't have a French fry.
Willie gonna argue about not touching his plate, but if you have ever argued with your partner about something ridiculous, drop it down in our comments so we can laugh at y'all's stories. And we'll get back to the show.
You say laugh at their stories.
Welcome back. It's that part of the show we talk about all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide plus Willie. For those of you who may still be in the pissy dating pool. That's what they call it. Are your first date expectations setting the bar a little too high? Some folks are out here expecting rooftop dinners and 5-star menus right out the gate, while others are totally cool with grabbing a coffee at a local coffee shop. But when does the preference turn into pressure? And are we missing out on real connection, chasing the perfect aesthetic? Let's talk about it. What are y'all first date standards like?
Okay, so I want to tell y'all about a first date experience that I've talked about on here before. I went on a first date, right, to Twin Peaks, and we dined in ditch. Like, we briefly talked about this before, but we dined in ditch because the service was just terrible and all of that. But it was literally, we did an escape room, and then we did Twin Peaks just to go grab something quick to eat. It wasn't if you know Twin Peaks, you know it's not a 5-star restaurant, okay? So we went to just have some drinks or whatever, like after the escape room. Now, I'm the type of girl, like, I know people look at me and they look at my social media and they automatically think like, oh, we got to go to STK. We got to go to, Fleming's. We got to go to all of these expensive restaurants. While I do enjoy those type of, ambiances, but I also enjoy like something super chill. Like, I enjoy, but that also comes with getting to know me, having conversations with me before you actually ask me out on a date, because I am the real chill girl. It doesn't have to be over the top. It doesn't have to be, over the moon, but I do enjoy like adventurous dates, for first dates.
That's a lot to go to an escape room on the first date. Oh,
we went to an escape room and then we went to grab food and drink.
That makes me nervous. That's not my type of first date, which I don't really consider first date. I consider us meeting for the first time.
Okay.
We got to go for coffee. I don't want to eat because I may not like you. So that's why.
You don't want them to see you eat.
No. Oh, no, you can see me eat. Oh, okay. I'm all right with that, honey. Okay. I am not shy about eating. That's for sure. I will eat, honey.
Okay.
But I don't want to, if I don't like that person, I don't want to be at the table with them and feeling like, oh my gosh, I really would like to get out of here. Yeah. And then I feel like I have to stay. Yeah. I like to do the coffee so we can be like, oh yeah, okay, well, no connection. Bye. And then I don't have to be bothered with it and I don't have to stay long.
Okay.
That's my first one.
Okay. See, normally before I get to that point, like, of where, like, we actually go out, like, we're having conversations.
Yes.
So, like, the escape room for the first date was like, okay, like, I feel like, I've gotten to know, the little things about you to know, like, I probably could stand to be around you for, a little bit.
Yeah. I'm still determining
I want to talk a little bit about that because I got somebody else's story to tell. But
somebody else's story.
Listen, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, who we love, shared her professional advice on why on dating first impressions, y'all. Let's see what she had to say.
Y'all, listen, be upfront about your dating intentions, prioritizing, casualty, inexpensive first dates like coffee or drinks.
Yes.
Pay attention to the red flags like excessive focusing on fancy restaurants early on, and clearly communicate your expectations, y'all, about splitting the bill. I'm not going to split the bill, but y'all can. Now, if someone seems overly interested in trying, the best new spot before getting to know you, it might be a sign of a foodie call. And remember, it's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no to something if it doesn't feel right, y'all. Y'all gotta be okay with that.
I agree. I feel like setting boundaries is very important, but I also feel like when you're on that first date with somebody, whether you're at a fancy restaurant or a coffee shop or whatever, set the intention right there.
Yeah.
Like, I need to know, what exactly are you looking for? Are you looking for a relationship or are you looking for a good time?
Yeah.
Because you don't even know what I'm looking for yet until you ask me. Maybe I'm looking for a good time.
Yeah.
We don't know, but I feel like people find those conversations uncomfortable when they first get to know somebody because you don't exactly want to be rejected and you don't want to push them away. So it's like, I'm not going to hear.
Yeah. When I was dating, I am asking all of the awkward questions out the gate. I'm not saving nothing from the back because I feel like at this point, I have the least invested. So if there's anything about you that I'm not going to like, I want to know now.
Right. Yeah.
And also because I, pride myself on being a genuine person. So I'm coming in as I am. I have no representative.
Right.
So I got to kind of push those buttons to try to get you to peel those layers off.
Right.
But do we think a simple and casual date is a red flag, or is it a realistic start to how the relationship may play out?
I think it depends on however people agree to go on a date. I mean, if they go to a fancy restaurant, go to the coffee shop, I think it just depends on what they agree to.
And you know what I think, as we're having this conversation, I think what a good, initial conversation would be is even asking that person, what is your idea of a perfect date? And then as they're going on, and then how does that look? Who pays for that? You know what I'm saying? Just, make it kind of jokey, like, who gonna pay? Just to kind of, see how that would play out.
Yeah.
I've only once in my lifetime had a date, and I really didn't even want to go. It really wasn't even a date. And when I was dating, I would never let the person pick me up. I always had to drive there so that I could leave whenever I wanted to leave.
Right.
But one time, this guy was, talking. We were talking for a little bit or whatever. And so he said, I'm going to be in your city. Let's go out. or whatever, and we went for a date, and I think we went to Chili's, and it was my first time. I don't like Chili's, okay? And this was my first time going to Chili's, and my last time as well. And so he's like, oh yeah, let's go there, they have good drinks. So he was ordering like, you know, drinks or whatever. And then when the bill came, he had a coupon that made all of his drinks free.
Ooh!
Okay.
He had a what?
He had a coupon that made
Chili's?
Yeah, for his drinks. I guess. I
like
mean,
a cutout?
Whatever it was, baby. I don't know. I don't remember if it was Coles back in that time or whatever.
Girl,
listen, honey,
get
and girl,
out of here.
Immediately, I think it was like MySpace at the time, and so just getting on Instagram, and you know, I kept the conversation cool. I played it cool. I, let him drop me back home. As soon as he dropped me home, honey, I blocked that number. I blocked social media. And I seen him years later. I seen him maybe about 2 or 3 months ago in Walmart. Laugh about it, baby. I don't know you.
No, that's right. Never seen you before.
Never seen you.
No, I'm so sorry to this man.
What do you mean? But all right, y'all. Now it's time to move on to our final segment of the day. Let's get into unpopular opinions. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., one of Willie's homeboys.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay. He's alive, y'all. He's alive.
Is now serving as U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services. He is once again at the center of controversy. In a recent press conference, he described autism as an epidemic that destroys families. Let's take a look.
Autism destroys families. More importantly, it destroys our greatest resource, which are our children. These are children who should not be suffering like this. These are kids who, many of them were fully functional and regressed because of some environmental exposure into autism when they're 2 years old. And these are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. And we have to recognize we are doing this to our children.
What I do want to say, I know this conversation may get a little bit crazy if we have time, but I think that a lot of people are going to miss what he said. I don't know if it's the auto-tune in his voice or whatever it is, but he did say something real. What he said was that children at 2 years old, because of environmental exposure, are being exposed to autism. And so they've been fighting that for years. But what he's actually saying is true, that part of it, because I remember I have a 2-year-old now, and, he is not vaccinated. Because, there has been some study, research, low-key about the exposure of children to autism, young Black boys especially, from the MMR vaccine when they couple it together between 18 months and 24 months. And so the fact that he said that, he's really even pushing the envelope by saying that, because so many people fight back and act like it's not a thing. But a lot of Black children and a lot of children all over the world have come into contact with autism as an adverse effect to that vaccine. So I do get what he's saying, but I feel like he's, grouping them too much into all the things that they cannot do when there are a lot of children.
Speaking in code.
He's talking.
Listen. He can't say vaccine.
Oh, that exactly. No, he cannot.
Why he
say
can't
that
say it?
because
he won't be the U.S. Secretary or nothing no more.
Because that's what they fought for the right. I want you to realize this, that RFK is not the typical person. He's not a Republican, so he's not that person. So before y'all get up here and think that he's just sitting there, he is not a Republican.
What is he?
Whatsoever. He is an independent and before that was a Democrat. But what they're saying is absolutely true. If you do the research to what Tyler just said and concerning the vaccines, and if you look at the population that has happened, you're seeing more and more cases of children being diagnosed with autism. We did not hear about that in our times when we were coming up. Autism, almost I forgot what the statistic is, almost about probably 1 in 4 children are now on the spectrum. A lot of Gen Z. That is coming because we have used our children as lab rats. instead of actually letting them function and growing and having an immune system that children, when you would put children out in the mud and let them go out there and build their immune system, now they're vaccinated.
I'm gonna let you finish, Tally, because y'all done talking, y'all done talking. Okay. What I don't appreciate is this man getting up here saying that autistic people, children will not be able to do anything as if they are incapable. There's a TV show right now on Netflix that's brand new. It's called Living on the Spectrum. And there are autistic adults living and dating in real time.
But
there's nothing wrong with
him. Autism. Maybe what he's speaking to is what is happening from the adverse effects of that vaccine.
And he said that exactly.
But I do know a lady
because that was very
whose
ignorant.
son had lost his speech right after he got that vaccine.
All right,
speech gone.
I know people with children stopped walking after those vaccines.
Couldn't do anything anymore, and she couldn't believe it, and it was so fresh when it happened. She was so sad. It was so sad to see that situation, all because of that vaccine. A lot of people in LA, they're not doing the vaccine.
The key word before we go is he said most of the children, not all of the children.
The key word is we're gonna finish this conversation on Friday. Y'all stay tuned. Thanks for watching POV tonight.
Y'all have a good night.